Hi everybody, Chris here with Super Savvy Travelers. Hey, I'm doing a really interesting course on marketing, and they say, well, you got to tell your story. You got to tell your story as to what epiphany did you have that made you do all these actions to achieve this desired effect. And as you know, Pete and I are very much into Italy. We love Italy. We bought a place over there. We're working with the people in the area to help boom Calabria. Hashtag Calabria's booming. That's our big thing. We love it. It's just such a fun project. Anyway, I was thinking, well, gosh, what epiphany did I have? And there were so many. You can look back to the first time you were in Italy and you got just struck with the magic of it. I was 18 years old. It was just the most beautiful and romantic place. But then, the real epiphany came later. The question that people have, both my Italian friends and American friends ask me, Chris, what made you go over there and do all the work to buy a property there and then, and then live there or live there part of the year? And the answer is actually pretty somewhat complex. There were parts to it. First of all, my husband and I were reaching the point where our kids were growing, moving out, and we realized that we were going to have an empty house. At the same time, I noticed a lot of my friends were getting divorced. I'm like, well, what the hell is going on with that? I don't want that to happen to me. And I talked to them, and what's happening? Well, we grew apart, blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't think that's ever the case, really. And basically, I was able to just simmer all this information down into one nugget of the true reason, and it was that they had no longer any goals in common. Their goal was they got married, they wanted to raise a family, they did, they educated their kids, they kept them alive, they kept them fed, they kept them going. And then all of a sudden the kids move out, and there goes your goal. It's done. Now what do? You sit there and you stare at each other and go, what the hell? And so they start getting goals, outside or whatever, or maybe they become vaguely unhappy and think it's the partner or whatever, and they get divorced. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not doing this. So I immediately thought I need to get a goal in common with my husband. So I did a bunch of research on. I wanted a place in the sun. I wanted something exotic. I wanted bright sunshine, views of the sea, something, a different culture. I wanted a language to be challenged to learn. I wanted to know people who had been in their villages or whatever for generations and generations, been through all kinds of things, in their lives and through their family lines and everything else. And I love the food. The food is amazing. So I said, okay, I'm going to start looking. And initially I looked, in Hawaii. I was like, yeah, Hawaii's great. I love Hawaii. Didn't quite fill the bill. Too Americanized for what I was looking for, right? And America's great. I love it. But I already have a place here. I don't need another place in America. So that was out. Then I said, okay, I loved A Year in Provence, Peter Mayle, when he was writing a Year in Provence and that sort of thing. Loved that story. So I started looking in that area. Little pricey for me. Wasn't going to work. Then Amalfi Coast. Ooh, that was nice. Very pricey. Not going to fly. Then I kind of segued over to Greece. Greece is great. I even bought a Greek dictionary. I was going to learn Greek. And it didn't quite work for the residency requirements that we had. So that was off the table. So I put my Greek dictionary. I actually gave it to Goodwill because I'm not going to learn Greek. Anyway, then I started looking in Puglia. Puglia is the other side of the boot from Calabria, and I liked it. It was great. And those cute little Truly houses that are, they're just little cones. They look like beehives, built in the time when the taxes were based on the number of houses or buildings you had on the property. So you'd build up your little Lego house, and build it all up and live in it. And then suddenly you'd get somebody yelling out the door, oh, taxman is coming. And then you take them all down. And they're piles of rubble at that point. They come through, they assess you on the land only. As soon as they're gone, boop, 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 you Lego build them all right back up. It was very smart, very cool. However, everybody, the English and a lot of other people had pretty much found out how gorgeous they were and gone over, and the prices gone up. So that pretty much killed that plan. And then one day I was watching House Hunters International, and there was a gal there from Salinas, which is right up the street from us here in America. Her name was Michelle, who's now a friend. She's lovely. And she was buying a house in a little town called Santa Domenica Talao. And we looked at that and we went, oh, or I did. Pete wasn't really into it. He was sort of ignoring me on this whole thing. So anyway, I said, oh, that's awesome. Look at that. I loved the prices. I loved the village. I loved everything about it. And so I said, Pete, we're going over and we're going to buy a property. He's like, we're going to go look only. We're only going to look. And I'm like, okay, we'll go look. And of course, by the end of the time there, he pretty much had decided we were going to buy our house, which, you know, because you can't go over there and fall in love with everything there and then leave it forever. That just wasn't an option. So, so we bought our house, and honestly, we have never had such a great project that we wake up in the morning like, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to build on this idea and this plan and this creativity. And, you know, we bought the house, we're getting it renovated. We're working with everybody in the village. We bought a B&B in the piazza. We're going to set that all up. It's so much fun. And the people over there are wonderful. Santa Domenica Talao, we went in there, we purchased our house. We didn't speak the language very well, but they welcomed us with open arms from the beginning. And we could not be happier with our friends and neighbors over there. We're in communication via email and on Facebook and other things. And it's just made our lives so rich and just beyond measure. There's always something to look forward to. There's always something exciting happening. I have more friends over there than I can count. It's just wonderful. So anyway, that was my epiphany moment. That was one of them. There was several others, but that was really one of them that really made me started looking at, hey, we need to have a really exciting goal in common, and we're going to be together forever. So anyway, hope that helps you, and hope it's entertaining and enlightening. And contact me if you want to come over. We'll go hang out. Okay, bye.